Hey guys, welcome to When Spirit Talks. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be diving into a topic that can sometimes feel uncomfortable, but it's so important for healing, spiritual growth, and for finding your authentic self again. We're going to be talking about shadow work. Now, if you have ever heard the term shadow work and thought, absolutely not, that sounds so scary and I can't do it, you're not alone. So much of the spiritual space is focused on the positivity, the high vibrations, the love and light, as they say. But true healing, deep healing, asks us to embrace every single part of ourselves, not just the parts that feel easy or light, because when there is light, there's also darkness. I have a whole chapter about this in my book, and I'll drop that in the description. But light and dark exists within every single one of us. One cannot exist without the other. So as you're walking this spiritual path, you're awakening, there comes a point when you're going to realize that healing is not always about just showing up with your light. The most important and the most courageous thing you can do is turn towards the shadows, the parts of yourself that you've kept hidden, that you've put away. It is so hard to fully embody your divine light if you're still burying pieces of yourself in the shadows. Your shadows don't make you unworthy or bad or broken. Your shadows make you human. Every single one of us has attributes or qualities that we don't really like or that we're ashamed of. The shadow parts of ourselves are the parts that we've rejected or suppressed or hidden. For example, maybe when you're angry, you always hide it because you were taught that showing your anger is not acceptable. Maybe you were always very sensitive and emotional, but someone told you it was weakness. Maybe you even hide your needs and your vulnerability to fit in or to avoid rejection or even to stay safe. So over time, these shadow parts get pushed into our subconscious. I like to describe shadow traits as things like jealousy, insecurity, anger, bitterness, neediness, arrogance, envy, shyness, vulnerability. Basically, it's anything you consider to be negative, anything you consider to be embarrassing to show to other people. The important thing about these shadows is that it invites us to go deeper. They can be our greatest teachers because, for example, if you're jealous of someone or something, that jealousy is showing you what you really want. If you become really angry, that anger is showing you where your boundaries are crossed and where you need to put in the work to establish stronger boundaries. Vulnerability, while yes, it can open you up to getting hurt, it also allows you to develop deeper and more authentic, loving relationships. So our shadows carry important messages. A lot of us hide our shadows. This means you might be someone who smiles and says everything's okay when deep down you're hurting. You might stay quiet when you really want to speak up. You might praise other people, compliment other people, but put yourself down. When you deny these parts of yourself, energetically, you're denying yourself. And healing can't happen if you are keeping those in the darkness. You'll find that these shadow pieces show up when you are stressed, when there is overwhelm, when there is chaos around you. And so in the moments when you are just coasting by and something really triggers you, that is your moment to go within and start to ask yourself, why is this bothering me so much? Your trigger can be your teacher, and it can show you where there are unresolved wounds, unmet needs, or shadow pieces that need to be acknowledged. The best way you can learn about yourself is by engaging with other people. Other people will teach you about yourself. People act as mirrors. So the qualities that you admire in other people are also the qualities that you do possess, even if you're unaware of it. Also, on the other side, the qualities that you dislike in other people are also the qualities that you dislike in yourself, whether you admit it or not. So the next time someone bothers you or someone causes you to feel angry or hurt or depressed, ask yourself, what is this person showing me? Why does this bother me so much? What is this teaching me? And how can I move past it? Here's what you're going to do. So this week, think about someone that you love, someone you admire, And then what you're going to do is you're going to write down the qualities that you love about them. So just jot down 5 qualities, 5 attributes that you love about this person. Then you're going to write down 5 things that annoy you or trigger you about this person. When you've completed your list, you're going to ask yourself, do I have any of these qualities? You might be surprised at what you uncover. It might be something that you're finally seeing for the first time. Once you notice those qualities about yourself that might have been hidden, now it's time to reflect on those. So ask yourself, what parts of yourself have you been hiding? What emotions do you judge in yourself? What parts of yourself are ready to be seen? What parts of yourself are ready to be loved? And what parts of yourself are ready to be accepted? I want you to say that out loud and think of the first thought that comes to mind. That is your intuition telling you the answer. Shadow work isn't about fixing yourself. It's about remembering the parts of yourself that need to be remembered. And above all else, remember that healing isn't about being perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. It's not attainable. It's overrated. Being spiritual, undergoing a spiritual awakening doesn't mean that you're love and light all the time, because you're bypassing the most important aspects of a spiritual awakening. And that is going within the depths to find your light. It means that you honor the entire fullness of your human experience. Some days are going to be bright and light and happy. Other days, you might find that the shadows come up a little bit more. It doesn't matter either way. Everything goes up and down. You are light and dark. There is a cycle that you're always going to be working through. It's a cycle of growth and learning. So every time you bring one of your shadows into the light, when you become aware of a trait or an attribute that you once wanted to hide, and you show up and you reveal it with compassion and acceptance, your truest self shines a bit brighter. If you want to work more deeply or one-to-one on releasing these heavy shadow imprints and healing your body, mind, and spirit, you can go to my website, liveandbreathereiki.com, to book your one-to-one session or join the monthly membership, the Sacred Circle Collective, where you get intuitive readings and energy healings each and every month. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you. So share the episode, send me a DM on Instagram at I am Stephanie Ruth, and that is Stephanie with an F. Leave a review and let me know what you've picked up on with shadow work. Until next time, don't forget, when spirit talks, it's time to listen.